Good afternoon, all. So, welcome all to the afternoon session of the day two of online FDP on AI. So, over the next two sessions, session 6 and 7, Dr. Sanjay Kumar Ponda will be delivering some insights on local search algorithms and optimization problems. So, hope all of you will enjoy the sessions. So it's now over to Dr. Sanjay Kumar Ponda to start the session.
Okay,
So welcome, sir. Now you can start.
thank you very much, sir. Okay, already 63 people have joined, so we'll not wait for others. Let them join. Okay, so now we have three sessions in the afternoon. First session, I will address some of the local search algorithms and optimization problems. Then in the after 3:35 p.m. we'll see some of the program in Prolog, right? Two program, two program we did in the yesterday's last session. So today's session will take some more programming aspects of Prolog, right? And 4:30 onwards there is a stress management section. 4:30 to 5 there is a stress management section. So let me start my first session, that is session 6, okay, which focuses on the local search algorithm and optimization algorithm, optimization problems or optimization algorithms also we'll see. So in this lecture, I'll tell you a brief introduction about why local search algorithm is required or why optimization algorithms are required. Then we'll see one of the popular Play Store game. Also, you can search in Play Store. There is a hill climbing game, right? So that game, if you concentrate on that game, that is nothing but our hill climbing search that we will discuss. Then I'll discuss one of the very popular algorithm in also a meta heuristic approach we say, and that is the genetic algorithm. And I will also give some of the highlights why people are using genetic algorithm and what is the drawbacks of genetic algorithm, so that people are nowadays using TLB or teaching learning based algorithm or Jaya algorithm or Cuckoo search, particle swarm optimization, why they are moving from genetic algorithm to other aspects, that we will see. And in the next we'll see some of the games. You may have played some game where there is a single player, but there are many games are there where there is a multiplayer. So whatever discussion, whatever we discussed in the yesterday's session, that is a single agent. One single agent is working in the environment. But whenever you go for adversarial search, there are multiple agents are there. So whenever you are doing something, some changes in the game, okay, or you are changing your player from one position to another position, at the same time, other player is also moving. So that kind of search we'll see, that is called as adversarial search, and some of the games we'll see. Last, we will discuss one very important part, that is alpha beta pruning. So this alpha beta pruning also you can apply in your research area. It is a very important area. For example, I will tell you for the time being. Suppose you have 100 solutions, somebody will give a clue to you, so that 100 solution is reduced to 10 solution, right? So instead of confusing, instead of selecting one solution out of 100 solution, somebody told that 90 solutions is not applicable. So 10 solutions you have to pick one. So it is more easier. So such type of things are called as pruning. We are instead of taking 100, we are taking 10. So how we apply this alpha beta pruning and what is the significance in AI perspective, we will see. Okay, come to the local search algorithm. So now in this COVID-19 scenario, Prime Minister also launched one program. Okay, that is Atmanirbhar program, right? So in this program also it says that you have to purchase local product, or you have to work in a local area, not to go outside, and you have to restrict your area as much as possible, and you travel as much as possible. So similarly here also local search says that whatever whatever problem space or state space is given to us, we will work in that space only. We will not go beyond that space, right? So one of the example is our hill climbing search that we'll see after this discussion. Okay. So this local search algorithm operates using a single current state. You are present in a single state. For example, let us take the same example from Hyderabad to New Delhi, right? My initial state is Hyderabad, then I am moving from Hyderabad to Nagpur. So my current state is Nagpur, right? So now at Nagpur, I want to, I have to stay for one day to start my next journey. So I will see which restaurant is near to my guest house or my lodge or my restaurant, so that I'll go to that hotel and I'll take some food, right? That is a kind of local search. I will not go through all entire cities of Nagpur to search everything and find which hotel is best. So this is not practically possible. That's why local search algorithm very important is that it only focus on the current state. Okay, so you may have multiple path rather than a multiple path. Okay, multiple path may exist, but we will go to the next state from a current state. So generally move to only neighbor, like you have seen that sliding puzzle game. Okay, you are moving from one point to another point. You are moving. Generally, you are moving to the neighbor. We'll see whether the branching factor is 4 or whether the branching factor is 3 or whether the branching factor is 2. But we will go to the nearest neighbor. Whoever is the nearest neighbor, there we will want to shift. So next is whenever you are moving such things. Okay, whenever you are moving, just a minute. My voice is audible, right? Somebody write in chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's audible.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. Audible, sir.
So why people are saying it is not audible?
Yes, it is audible.
Okay. So here, if you see whatever path, for example, you have seen in A star search, whenever you are present at Nagpur, you have to retain the path of Hyderabad to Nagpur, and also you have to keep the path from Nagpur to New Delhi. But here, whatever path you have already done, that is not retained. Means the path from Hyderabad to Nagpur, whenever you are present at Nagpur, he will not consider that path. So although local search algorithm is not systematic, it is not systematic. So it means that you will get a good product in your local area, but if you go to a global area, means in an entire city, you may get that same product with a better quality and less cost. But as you are restricted to local search, whatever best in your local area, you are retaining that only. Okay, you are not going to some other area. That's why it is said to be not systematic. So one of the advantages you can say, as it is restricted to a particular area, so it requires very little memory. Okay, so in your area, whatever cities are, whatever hotels are there, in the Nagpur example, 2-3 hotels are there in my street, so I'll restrict to that 2-3 hotels only, right? So that's why we require very little memory, usually a constant amount. Generally, we represent it by, in algorithm term, we call it a constant complexity or constant amount. Second key advantages you will get that they can often find a reasonable solution in large or infinite state space for which systematic algorithms are unsuitable. For example, I am searching a very long, very large search area. In large search area, getting a solution is very difficult. That you have already checked, that is 16 to the power 512. Even if you replace to 10 to the power 512, 1 followed by 512 solutions are not practically possible. Rather than 10 to the power 512, I will choose only 10 solutions. It may happen that within these 10 solutions, I can find a local optimum solution. So these are the advantages you will get whenever you are applying local search algorithm. So local search algorithm are useful for solving the optimization problem. So whenever you are going for optimization problem, anything, suppose I am going for a mechanical product. In that mechanical product, I want to optimize it. Like our mobile phone is, early days we have telephone. Nowadays, very small sets are coming, right? Which is very easy to carry and very easy to place in our pocket, right? And like laptop also, earlier desktop is there, now laptop is there, now we have tablets, and so many improvements are there. So we are optimizing whatever search area is given to you, that search area you are optimizing, right? So local search algorithm is basically solving the optimization problem. Whenever we are talking about an optimization problem, first we have to define what is an objective function. In the morning lecture, you have seen something is called evaluation function, right? The evaluation function is same as your objective function. For every optimization problem, you have to state objective function. In research also, you may have seen so many people are applying genetic algorithm, particle sum optimization, TLB or teaching learning based optimization, or Joya algorithm, Cuckoo search. Many authors are applied the same algorithm in the same field. So how their papers are published? Because their objective function is different. Okay, whatever they want to achieve, that may be different. The goal may be different. So they are monitoring different criteria in order to achieve a particular solution. So, for example, in my travel, suppose I want to travel from Hyderabad to New Delhi, I don't have sufficient time. So, what I'll do? I'll go by air, right? In this case, if you see this particular scenario, the time is less, but the cost is more. But one person cannot afford the airfare. What he will do? He will travel by train. So, time is more and cost is very less. So, if you consider this example, how to optimize the both scenario? One may suggest that, let's say, intermediate point is Bhopal. So one will travel from Hyderabad to Bhopal by air and Bhopal to New Delhi by train. So it is an intermediate solution of Hyderabad to Delhi by air or Hyderabad to Delhi by train, right? So such type of things, whenever you are defining an optimization problem, you clearly mention what is your objective. And you state that whether your objective is single dimensional or multi-dimensional. Sometimes objective is more than one. Okay, if it is multi-dimensional, that is a multi-objective problem. So in multi-objective problem, then again you find whenever you are talking about multi-objective problem, whether both objectives need to be minimized or both objectives need to maximize. For example, today we have seen so many algorithms. In that algorithms, we are talking about time complexity and space complexity. And you know, time complexity should be less as much as possible. Space complexity also need to be less as much as possible. So here, my both objective, that is time and space, both need to be minimized. I don't want to maximize my time, I don't want to maximize space. But there is a trade-off between time and space. If you want to minimize the time, space will increase. If you want to minimize the space, the time will increase. So how to create a trade-off between two different objective, time and space, or any other objective with respect to their problem. So let us see, whenever you are talking about a landscape has both location and elevation. So whenever you are talking about a, let's say, hill area, okay, hill climbing problem, we will concentrate on hill area, especially whenever you go for northeast or north zone, there is a hill area. So in that hill area, suppose one agent is present in one place, right? So the agent want to achieve one solution, right? So in that case, the next step of the agent is purely depends upon the location and elevation. How it will monitor from the current step to the next step. So in order to achieve that, we are always using a cost function, like that is called as a heuristic cost function, or we can say simply called as an objective function or evaluation function. Any function we will use to estimate something and we will choose our next path. So if elevation is related to cost, suppose, or you can say my performance measure is cost. So cost is generally, we assume that cost should be minimized, right? If cost is minimized, so my overall objective is to find the global minimum. Global minimum means, for example, my source space is our country. So I have to travel from Hyderabad to New Delhi, right? There are so many flights are there. And my objective is cost. My performance measure is cost. So I have to find which flight takes less cost, right? So if I'm able to find, then that is called as global minimum, right? Entire source space, you are finding a solution, when that is minimum, then that is a global minimum. But it is practically finding global minimum, it will take more space, right? As your source space is more. So now let us restrict the source space to a particular state like Telangana. Suppose I will restrict to Telangana. Okay, I want to travel from Telangana one place to another place, right? So there I will find there is a local minimum, because whatever cost I will spend to move from one position to another position, maybe in other state the cost is minimum. So our objective is to reach the global minimum, but as we are concentrating on the local search algorithm, we will focus on the local minimum. Similarly, whenever your objective function is to maximize, so there we will find global maximum. So let us take an example. If you concentrate on this diagram, you will try to understand. So these are the hills. Let us assume that there are hills, right? So whenever you especially visit north or northeast region, whenever you will reach the top of a particular hill, right? So you will see other hills are much higher than this particular hill. For example, I am present in this particular hill, then I am seeing that another hill is there that is having the height is more, right? Or it looks that the same height is there, something like that, right? So in hill climbing search, also in Play Store you can download and play this game. one person is riding a bike or riding a car, his objective is to reach to some position, right? And that agent is riding that car in a very high speed and to reach to the top of the hill. Again, he will go down. Again, it will start the next hill. It will go down like that. It will process. So there is two type of things whenever you concentrate on hill type of search. There is a uphill movement. There is a downhill movement. So as the name suggests, uphill means I am going up of the hill, right? Top of the hill. Downhill means I am coming from a top of the hill to down of the hill. So here it is simply a loop, continuously move the direction, increasing value, uphill. For example, let us take, this is the current state, we will come to this one. So for example, I am present here. So let me write, I am present here, right? This particular point I am present here, right? So I will find my next step. For example, my next step is this particular point, okay? So I am present in this particular point. I am finding my next point. The next point is this one. So what I will do, I will check the height of this point and height of this particular point. I will move from the current state to the next state, from a current state to the next state, if and only if the height is more. Okay, so whenever I reach this next state, then next state will become your current state. Then you find another neighbor whose height is more than your current height. Like that, if you process, sometime you will reach to the top of the hill, right? That's why this continuously you have to iterate until unless your objective is fulfilled, right? Your objective may be global maximum, your objective may be global minimum, your objective may be local maximum, your objective may be local minimum. It is with respect to the whatever the problem you are concentrating. So okay, so it says that it terminates when it reaches a peak where no neighbor has a higher value. For example, when I reach this particular point, assume that I am present in this particular point. So I am selecting my next state is this. Okay. So I'll check the height of this particular my current state is more than the height of my neighbor state. So what I will do, I'll stop my search because this is the peak point. That's why they are saying you stop in the position where no neighbor has a higher value. If you reach this point, then no neighbor has higher value. But what about this? What about this? For example, I am present in this particular hill, right? So here I am able to see there is another hill which is much more higher. The height is much more than my current height. But in order to reach from this state to this state, it is practically not possible because whenever you will try to search in this area or this particular area anywhere based upon your current state or type of movement, whether it is left side or right side, your height is decreasing. So you cannot reach to the global maximum. So now, hill climbing algorithm typically chooses randomly among a set of best successor if there is more than one. Sometimes what happens, you have multiple neighbors are there. Like you have seen in that Romania map example also, our initial state is A. So whenever you explore A, you are getting 3 cities, that is S, P and Z. So whenever you have multiple things, you choose one of the best successor, right? Or you choose the best successor randomly. Now come to this particular diagram. So let us assume that my current state is this one. This black dot indicates my current state. Now I am present here. So what I will do, from my current state, I will find my next state. So let my next state is this particular point. What I will check, the height of the current state and height of the next state, whose height is higher. So my next state height is higher, so I am moving to this particular point. Similarly, once I reach to this one, this next state becomes my current state, I will choose my another next state. So this is my next state. Okay, so as the height is more, then I will move to this next state. Okay, once I will move to this next state becomes my current state, I will choose another height, my next state, whose height is more than my current state. Like that, I can reach to this particular point. Okay, this point is called as your local maximum. Why it is called local maximum? I cannot claim it is a global maximum. I will claim that it is a local maximum because after reaching this point, if I choose my next state, I cannot move to my next state as my next state is less height than my current state. Okay, so this is called as local maximum. What happens if my current state is this particular point? You assume that here it is my current state is there. This current state is present in this particular position. So after some time, after continuously moving, you will reach to this particular point, right? Once you reach this point, you will claim that point is local maximum. Okay, for this particular hill, this is a local maximum. Fortunately, this point is also treated as our global maximum, right? But it is not always possible that local maximum is equal to our global maximum, because it is practically not possible, right? If you are present in the hill where global maximum can be achieved, there only you can claim it is a global maximum. Similarly, there is two other points we have written. For example, my current state is present here. Let us assume that my current state is present here. So I'll find my next state. Once I'll reach to this particular point, okay, up to this point, the solution is not improved. Solution is not improved means the height is no more improved. If the height of this particular hill is 100 feet, at this particular point, this flat surface, what happened? The height is 100 only, right? If you consider such scenarios, you can claim that that is called flat local maximum. Okay, or we sometimes also called as our soldier. If you see our soldier also, where height is equal, right? So you can move to the next state, or if you are not moving to the next state also, you are getting the same value. So this search is very famous in artificial intelligence, as it is used in so many advanced algorithms of artificial intelligence. So what should be the problem? What should be the problem? The problem is your local maximum. You will never reach to a global maximum, right? If your current state is here, it is not practically possible to go for global maximum. And one of the example, real life example, if you see hill climbing search, in childhood, we have a ping pong ball. If you remember, we have a ping pong ball. So if you throw this ping pong ball, right? If you throw towards the floor, then it will jump, okay? And gradually, the height of that ping pong ball, okay, will be reduced, and after some time it will be in the rest stage. So that is also one of the example where the hill climbing search idea is belongs to. So in what happened in local maximum, we are finding the local maximum. Local maximum is a peak. Yes, obviously it is a peak, right? In the previous example you have seen local maximum is a peak, right? That is higher than each of its neighbor state. Whatever the neighbor states are there, right? This current state to these neighbor states are there. Its height is highest, no doubt, but it is lower than the global maximum. So then here at this point, this hill climbing search will stop. But unfortunately, it is our local maximum, not the global maximum. So this is one of the problem associated with our hill climbing problem. Another problem is reach. So reach results in a sequence of local maximum. Sometimes, if you see, the height of all the hills are same. So where irrespective of your current state, you will reach to the state where height is same, right? Multiple hills are there. If I have multiple agents, they reach to one particular point where the height is same. So that is nothing but a sequence of local maximum. So that is very difficult for a greedy algorithm to navigate, because greedy algorithm with greedy towards a particular objective. We have seen we are greedy towards h of n. I also told about the diabetes patient is greedy about taking the food without looking into other things. Right? So it is difficult for a greedy algorithm to navigate if it is a sequence of local maximum. Third is plateau is another type of problem where the solution is flat. We have already seen in the soldier case or in the flat local maximum case, the solution, better solution is not achieved. You are getting the same solution. So there is no uphill movement. You will not move towards the uphill, right? Because it is that is the maximum one, right? So in that case, the evaluation function is flat. It can be the flat local maximum, or which no uphill exit exists, or a soldier, for which it is possible to make progress, right? So after these are the three problems associated with our hill climbing search, where hill climbing search stop at this point if it is a local maximum or a reach or a plateau. Okay. So this is about a local search algorithm. So now I will discuss about genetic algorithm, right? Okay. So in genetic algorithm, it is a type of meta-heuristic approach. So in morning class also I told you why genetic algorithm, PSO, particle sum optimization, end colony optimization, teaching learning based optimization, Jaya algorithm, these algorithms are popular, because these are treated as meta-heuristic, right? These are not heuristic. Heuristic gives good performance in a particular scenario, but meta-heuristic provides tends to optimal solution. Tends to optimal solutions means in morning I told you, if my exact solution is 2, I am not going to achieve 2. Rather than I will achieve 1.9, or you can say 2.1. Somebody will say 2.001. That is also possible. So such type of solutions you will get. So this algorithm, this genetic algorithm, this is the flow chart of the genetic algorithm. I will take next 30 to 35 minutes, right? So to discuss this genetic algorithm, and I will tell you each and every individual steps, right? So try to understand this genetic algorithm so that you can apply this genetic algorithm in your respective area, right? Because without knowing the details of this algorithm, it is very difficult to code. Nowadays, many programming languages like Python, or you can go for MATLAB, they are providing various packages, right? In which if you write GA followed by some file name, it will automatically give you the result, right? But once you get the result, you are unable to understand how these results are coming. That's why you have to understand each and every step of the genetic algorithm, and each and every step having some issues, right? If you solve one of the issues, you can write a good research paper in this particular area. So for understanding this genetic algorithm, let me take a very small problem, right? So basically my domain is cloud computing, so I should not take such example, but let me write, instead of writing cloud, let me write this is a machine 1, right? So this is machine 1, this is machine 2, right? Or those who are not belongs to computer science background, you assume that there is 2 computer system is present, right? One computer system is here, another computer system is here, right? No need to assume that whether it is a cloud or a machine or any computing, right? So I have taken a small example. I have 4 tasks. 4 tasks means I have written 4 small programs. I want to execute these four small programs, okay, into these machines, right? But remember, exactly for each task, you have to choose only one machine. My voice is audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes, sir.
But why people are saying it is not audible?
Oh, no, it's audible.
Audible, sir. It is.
I'm getting so many calls also.
No, nicely audible, sir.
It's
Okay,
audible,
we'll
sir.
continue.
It's clearly audible.
Okay. Somebody try to join me. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so here I am taking an example, the same example. I have 4 small files that I called as task. Okay, that I have represented by T1, T2, T3, and T4, and I have 2 computer systems. Remember, each task can be assigned to a single machine. Whether task 1 you assign to the first computer or task 1 you assign to the second computer, but you have to finally assign to a single computer system. But before assigning to one of the computer system, you check how much time they are taking in that computer system, right? So here I am taking a computer, okay? Here I am taking another computer system. So before giving the task T1 to first machine or the second machine, what I will do, I will check availability of this machine, or I will check reliability of this machine, or I will check whether these tasks can be executed in this machine, or how much time they will take in this machine. But after this calculation, I have to finally select either the one first machine or the second machine. You cannot assign the same work to 2 different machines, right? So these I have already explained that there are 16 number of solutions are there, right? Possible solutions are there if there are 4 tasks and 2 machines or 2 computer systems, right? So this 16 is very small. This 16 is very small. Try to understand another important part I forgot to tell you. Genetic algorithm or any other algorithm which belongs to the meta-heuristic approach, it is not applicable if your source space is limited. In the local search case, you cannot apply genetic algorithm, right? Because the source space is very small. If your source space is very high, then you can apply any kind of meta-heuristic approach to achieve a particular solution. So as my solution is 16, so here genetic algorithm is not applicable. So why I have taken this example? Only to tell you the step-by-step process. But if really your problem is for 2 machines and 4 tasks, there you please don't try the genetic algorithm. So when the sort space is very high, there only you have to choose. Yesterday also I told you, you have 512 tasks, right? 512 tasks and you have 16 machines. In that case, 16 to the power 512 number of solutions are there. So it is difficult to calculate. So you know that 16 to the power 512 is greater than 10 to the power 512, right? So 10 to the power 512 means 1 followed by 512 zeros, right? 10 square means 100. So 10 to the power 512 means 1 followed by 512 zeros. If the solution space is that much, okay, it is practically not possible to apply any straightforward algorithm. There you can try meta-heuristic approaches like genetic algorithm. But in this example, I'll restrict my explanation with 4 tasks and 2 clouds, because if I take 10 to the power 512, a big number, you will not understand how the process is going on, and it is practically not possible to represent in the slide also. So let us take a very small example and understand each and every steps. So here I have written, if L tags M machines are there, then total number of solution is M to the power L. Okay. Now come to okay, let us first tell you about what is these values. If I am assigning this first work to first computer system, it is taking 150 seconds. Let us take each and every value as a time unit as second, right? If I assign the same task to the second machine, it is taking 18 seconds. Why it is so? It may happen that your second machine is faster than the first machine, right? Suppose I have a supercomputer and I have my laptop. If I compare these two, obviously if there is a parallel programming is there, multiple tasks can be executed, or multi-threading concept, or Java is there, Java programming is there, in which you have implemented multi-threading, obviously that computer will take less time and a normal computer will take more time, right? But there are some other tasks are also there. For example, another task I will take T5, which takes 5 units of time in the first machine, but 200 time in the 200 second in the second machine. So it is based upon the computer configuration and what kind of program you have written. Based upon that, you can estimate what is the time. For the time being, you assume that these values are I have written randomly, right? So if I assign the first work to first machine, it will take 150 seconds. But the same task, if I assign to the second machine, it is taking 18 seconds. So always people will say, I will choose this one because 18 is a very less number in comparison to 150. Similarly, when you assign the task T2 to the first machine, it is taking 32, but second machine taking 7. So obviously I will choose 7 because 7 is minimum. Okay, but similarly task 3, task 4 case, you can select something, right? So, but these values are I have selected randomly. Okay, if I generate another random number, these values will not come, right? So sometimes this first machine is better than the second machine. Sometimes second machine is better than the first machine. Sometimes both performs equally. Many cases may happen, right? So what we will do here? First step is in the genetic algorithm is called as initial population. So initial population says that in order to understand the initial population, let me introduce one concept that is called chromosome, right? As you know, birth of a child depends upon the male chromosome and female chromosome. By motivating from this human behavior or human tendency, okay, then the genetic algorithm was developed, right? So you have to take the chromosome representation in order to understand this each and every individual steps. So what is a chromosome? Whether it is a male chromosome, whether it is a female chromosome, or it is a child chromosome, the chromosome is a complete solution. Like a chromosome is nothing but a particular person, right? Is complete, right? So let us take an example of a chromosome. Here I have taken a chromosome, right? It is a single chromosome, and chromosome always provides complete solution. There is no chromosome without complete solution. Try to understand. Chromosome is providing a complete solution. So what is my chromosome representation? Here I am representing my chromosome. How I will represent? So my chromosome size is 1x4. 1x4 means there is a single row and there is 4 columns. What this 4 column indicates? In which machine I am going to assign this particular task. How many tasks we have? T1, T2, T3, T4. What is the possibility? T1 may be assigned to 1 or T1 may be assigned to 2. 1 means first machine, 2 means second machine. T2 case, it may be assigned to the first machine or it may be assigned to the second machine. T3 case, it may be assigned to the first machine or it may be assigned to the second machine, like that, right? So these values are this chromosome value is either 1 or 2, because we have concentrated, we have taken only 2 different machines, right? So for example, let us take task 1 is assigned to first machine. Okay, so how much time it will take? 150. If task 2 is assigned to second machine, how much time it will take? 7. Task 3 is assigned to the first machine, so how much time it will take? 20 seconds. Task 4 is assigned to second machine, so it is taking 15 seconds. So whether it is 1 2 1 2 or 1 1 1 1 or 2 2 2 2 or 2 1 2 1, anything you want to take, you take, because you have 16 solutions. You can take any solution. Any solution is a complete one. Try to understand, each chromosome is giving a complete solution. You can claim that this chromosome is not better, that chromosome is better, but in no way you can say that this chromosome is not complete. So whether this solution is 1 2 1 2, I do not know. Whether it is 2 1 1 2 followed by 3 ones, or all are 2 or all are 1, it will be anything, but it is giving a complete solution. Is it clear why I have written 150, 7, 20 and 15? So you can see here, T1 we are assigning the first machine, it is taking 150 seconds. T2 second machine, so it is taking 7. T3 is 20, and T4 is assigning the next machine, that is 15 seconds. So how much time you are giving? How much time the first system should work? 150 plus 20, that is called 170. How much time it will take in the second machine? 7 plus 15, it is 22. So total maximum time, it is taking 170, it is taking 20, right? 22. It is taking 170, it is taking 22. Which one is maximum? 170 is the maximum. That 170 is called as maximum time to complete the work using machine 1 and machine 2. So can you, are you able to understand this particular part? Why it is 170 and why it is 22?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask how I am getting these values. So let me show the next slide, then I will ask you. Okay. Now come to the initial population. The first phase is your initial population, right? So initial population is consist of a set of chromosomes. Okay, a set of chromosomes. Set of chromosomes means you have already seen what is a chromosome. Similarly, I have taken 10 chromosomes, right? I have taken randomly 10 chromosomes, right? What is the total number of solution exist for this small problem? 16. We already know that is 2 to the power 4. That is 16. So out of 16, I have selected 10 solutions. Okay, 10 chromosome I have taken as a part of initial population. So here one question arises that why you have taken 10 out of 16. Okay, this answer is not solved yet, right? For example, in the 16 to the power 512 case or 10 to the power 512 case, I will tell you, you take your initial population as 100 only, not more than 100, right? You go to any research paper, they are suggesting that initial population, you will take a set of chromosome. The set of chromosome is nothing but 100, or maximum you can take 200, right? Not beyond that, right? So why it is 100 and 200? Till now, there is no author has given satisfactory answer. But many people are saying based on the past experience, you take 100 and 200. So there is a question mark arises in the initial population. Why you have selected 100, or in this small problem, I have taken 10. So why I have taken 10 out of 16 solutions, right? So now come to the initial population. So I have taken 10.
Actually, I'm not getting. So actually, from the past experience, it is told that the maximum initial population should be 100.
As for various research studies,
Yes, sir.
maximum authors are taking 100. But why they are taking 100? If you ask, that is based upon their past experience. They have suggested many authors, the author of these subcomputing approaches or meta-heuristic approaches, those who develop, they suggested that you have to take 100 or 200, right? But there is no specific answer to it.
That 10 also, it is based on your past experience.
Which one?
In this particular example, you have taken 10
Here I have
chromosomes.
taken randomly it as a trend, right? Here I have randomly taken as 10, okay, to illustrate you. Okay.
Okay.
So next is 100 and 200 populations you have taken. But one thing I will tell you, one thing is very interesting.
On laptop or desktop, because this being hands-on activity, till like
Okay.
that both of you are visible, you can
please
take a
repeat your
selfie or
name.
you can request.
Okay. So I will tell you based upon my experience, or whenever you code this genetic algorithm, If you are taking 100 population, another person is taking 200 population, another person is taking 500 population, let's say another person is taking 1000 population, definitely 1000 population person will get better result than 500 person. 500 person's result person's result is greater than the 200%. 200% result is greater than the 100%. So the more initial population you will take, you will get better answer. But it is practically not possible to take 10 to the power 5 12 number of cases, or 1000 cases, or 500 cases. That's why many authors suggested that you take 100 populations or 200 population. Okay, let me see. Anybody want to join actually? But there is nothing showing here. Okay, leave it. Okay, so I have taken 10 chromosome, right? After 10 chromosome, I have taken 10 chromosome. After 10 chromosome, what we have to do? We have to do the process of selection. You see here, after initial population, there is an arrow mark to the selection process. So I have to apply the selection process, right, on initial population. So what should be the selection process? So there are many books. If you go for genetic algorithm books, many authors suggested many things. Many selection techniques are there, right? But here, I have taken a very small example in order to illustrate you. For example, I told you here, for this particular chromosome, first matching is busy for 170 unit of time. Everybody has not muted. No, now it is here. Okay, for this first chromosome case, first machine is busy for 170 unit of time. Second machine is busy for 22 unit of time. Similarly, for these 10 chromosomes, I have to generate how much time the first machine is busy and how much time the second machine is busy. Note that whenever you are generating the initial population, we are using some random function. As we are using some random function, it may happen that duplicate chromosomes may be present. Just like in our real life, a parent may have two child, both are looking same, right? So if you see here, in this case, in out of 10 chromosome, first chromosome is 1212, and sixth chromosome is also 1212. So as it is a random number based, so there may be some kind of repetition. Next, if you see, chromosome 3 is same as chromosome 8. Similarly, you may get same chromosome, right? If your source space is very less, okay, like this, then you will get same repetition, right? So repetition is there, then there is no issue in the selection process. One of them will be removed, right? So next process is I have to apply selection based upon the initial population. That's why if you concentrate 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to is a solution. Just you have seen in the previous slides, 1 to 1 to gives first machine is busy for 150 plus 20, second machine is busy for 7 plus 15, which I have written here. First machine is busy for 170 unit of time. Okay, second machine is busy for 22 unit of time, and maximum of them is, we call it by a max span. I am writing 170 is the maximum among the first machine and second machine. Similarly, you calculate for 2111 and write in the chart window. If you understood how this is 170 and how it is 22 and maximum is 170, so you find the solution for 2 followed by 31 and write in the chart window. Somebody please try this one. Chromosome number 9, how much you are getting in the first machine, how much you are getting in the second machine. Write in the chart window. Let me see. 18, 32 plus 20 plus 50. Please add it and write the exact one. So see, first one, if you see this one, 2 followed by 3, 1. So I will take first task to the second machine and rest of the task to the first machine. So the answer should be how much? 102 in the first machine and second machine it is 18. So let me check 10 to 18. Anybody has written or not?
110.
Okay. Don't write opposite one. Okay. If you write opposite one, it will be a different one, right? So what you will get in 1122 case? 112 case means first two tasks is assigned to the first machine, and next two tasks is assigned to the next two machine. So here it will come 182, here it will come 18. So overall it is nothing but 182. Is it clear? You will get 182 and 18. So let me see the answer, right? Yes, I am getting 182, 18. Maximum among them I call it by max pen, so I am writing 182. Now, out of this 10 chromosome, what I have applied? I have to apply the process of selection. Before applying the process of selection, what I have checked? I have checked some objective function or some function or some evaluation function. Okay, that is nothing but how much time it is taking in the first machine, how much time it is taking in the second machine, and maximum of that. So maximum time of the first machine and second machine is my criteria in order to select some chromosome among these 10, right? So tournament selection is another technique, one of the selection technique in which what happen? These 10 chromosome will play the tournament, like you know our knockout matches, right? Okay, knockout matches, you know, or in mini World Cup or World Cup match, you know, one will play with 2, okay, or one will play with 9, or one will play with 6. Some random number will generate. So one player will play with another one. So whoever win that match, I will keep that chromosome. Who is losing the match, I will remove that chromosome. Right? That is one of the criteria. Right? Like that, I have to apply the process of selection. Right? Tournament selection means out of 10 teams, you have now 10 cricket teams. Out of 10 cricket teams, you have decided that finally you will take 4 cricket teams for semi-final match. Right? So these 4 teams, how will select? You will apply some matches. You will play, these 10 player will conduct some match. Okay, they will play some match. Whoever is losing or whoever is having less point will remove them, and the rest 4 will play the semi-final. Then that is also a knockout match, right? That way you can remove. So here I have taken a different selection strategy in which I told I have taken that lower value is always better, as it is a time. If somebody is executing at work with 40 seconds, another person is executing at 50 seconds, obviously 40 seconds is better. That's why I have taken the time which is very less. Okay, that is the best chromosome, right? And I have to select, let's say, 4 chromosomes, right? I have taken 40% of the chromosomes. Then one question may arise here: why you have selected 40%? Again, this is also not a means proper answer is not there why I have selected 40%. But based on the previous experience, many researchers have suggested that you have to take only 10% or 20% of the initial population. But here I have taken 40% because we have very small. If I take 20%, only 2 chromosomes will come, right? That's why I have taken 40% to show other steps more clearly in the genetic algorithm. But in real life, it is only 10% to 20%. It means that out of 100 population, we will take only 20 samples or 10 samples to iterate in the genetic algorithm. So initial population has a question mark. Selection is also having a question mark. Objective function or the evaluation function, which we have applied, the how much time it is taking in the first computer, how much time it is taking in the second computer. Okay, that is also a question mark. Which criteria is best to find a good solution, right? So many people are applying hit and trial methods. They are trying to design good selection method, good objective function in order to achieve a near optimal solution. So if you see this particular case, so 43 out of these values, if you see the maximum values, okay, see the maximum values. Maximum is the maximum of the time taken in the first computer and second computer. The lowest one is 40. Next lowest one is 43, next is 70, next is 102, right? Somebody will say that why you have taken this minimum one? Because time is less. But there is no rule. If you go for the traditional genetic algorithm, initial genetic algorithm, there are so many constraints. But today, people are using genetic algorithm in more better way, because they are saying you choose two, best two, and you choose rows two, right? Rows two, for example, here it is 202 and 182. I'll take these two, right? This is also may provide a good solution, right? So their approach is varying with respect to time. But if you go for the initial development of genetic algorithm, they are saying you have to choose good solutions. Okay, so I have selected this bold part, that is 40, 43, 170 and 102 in the selection process. This is same as nothing but 100 people applied for a particular job. I have applied some selection criteria by writing, let's say their marks should be greater than 60%. Next criteria is they should not offered by any other company. So after that, I have shortlisted only 10 people, right? Next, after selection process, what we have? We have new population, right? Note that this new population is the first step of this particular loop, right? So new population is very, very important. So this 10 chromosome or 20 chromosome, what you have selected in the selection phase, that we have to iterate through this rigorous process, right? So let us go to the new population. So I have selected this new population. So as you know, 43, 40, 70, 102 is the less max span or less time they are taking. Chromosome 2, chromosome 4, chromosome 5, chromosome 10 is now selected for the process of new population. So for the better understanding, what I will do now, I will replace this 2 by 1. Why to take these numbers? We will take continuous number 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these 4s I have taken by 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So in the next slide I have written that is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Just I have replaced with their name, because this process will never back. If you see, we will not back to this process again. So there is no conflict. Once you reach to the new population, you will not back to selection and initial population process. So whatever renaming you want to do, you do in the new population. It will not conflict with others. Okay. Next, what is our step? Next step is our termination condition. Okay. Next is our termination condition. Termination condition is what? You have to put a termination condition. Somebody will say that until unless a student secured 70% mark, right, he has to appear for some re-exam or some exam, supplementary exam, or we can say remedial exam or some exam. We will say until unless a student secures 70%, he is failed for his degree, he has to appear some subject in which the score is less, and he has to iterate. So that may be a termination condition. One person will say that you iterate 20 times or 30 times, right? So many authors suggested that you iterate 20 or 30 times. After that, whatever solution you are getting, you take that solution. That is also one of the termination condition. Another person may put some termination condition that, like if you see engineering mathematics, whenever you are solving Newton-Raphson method or bisection method, will stop if the previous step answer and current step answer is same. Whenever you are iterating, you are solving a particular problem where multiple iterations are there. If iteration x and iteration x plus 1 is giving the same value, there we have to stop. So here I have taken a very simple termination condition. Termination condition is we will iterate for only one time, because it is not possible to iterate multiple times. So within one iteration you will able to know, right, how this algorithm is running, right? So as the termination iteration is 0, initially the iteration value is 0, so our termination condition is not satisfied. As our termination condition is not satisfied, what we will do? We will apply the process of genetic algorithm. So please note down, this termination condition is, if it is satisfied, then you will terminate. So that it is written yes, if termination condition, whatever termination condition you have fixed, if it is satisfied, then you will end the process, right? If the termination condition is not satisfied, you have to iterate, okay, until unless this termination condition is satisfied. So here in genetic algorithm, first we are applying one operator that is called crossover operator. So as you know, if the termination condition is not satisfied, we are applying the process of crossover. Crossover is applied to whom? To the parent. What is parent? Whatever the chromosome you are getting in the new population, they are called as parent, right? So crossover is always applied to the parent, not to any other samples, right? So once crossover is applied, okay, once crossover is done, like a male chromosome is there and female chromosome is there. So whenever a child born, Okay, there you will apply the process of mutation. So mutation is always applied to the children. Crossover is always applied to the parent, right? And fitness is always checked for modified children. I will tell you this process, don't worry, but try to understand. First is crossover. Crossover is always applied to parent. Mutation is always applied to children. Fitness is always checked for modified children. So let me tell you that crossover process, right? So in order to do crossover, we have how many chromosomes? We have 4 chromosomes. We have 4 chromosomes means what? We have 4 parents. So now we will do a exchange between a male chromosome and female chromosome, right? So let me choose. I will generate a random number between 1 to 4. Okay, and whatever number is coming, I will do the crossover of these 2 chromosomes, right? So suppose whenever I am generating the random number, the 2 chromosome is nothing but 1 and 3. Assume that 1 and 3. Sometimes it may happen that 1 will also come, right? 1 2 will come, 2 1 will come, or 3 1 will come, or 3 3 will come. So let us in this illustration. So our random number is giving 1 and 3. So what I will do? I will take the first parent as well as the third parent. So I have taken the first parent, that is 2 1 1 1 and 2 2 1 2, and their answers I have written, right? After selection of the parent, you have to find a crossover point. So crossover point is again a random number you will generate. Okay. So what is that? So you may choose crossover. Crossover means you will take some part of the parent 1 and some part of parent 3, like a child having some properties of his parent, some properties of its children, right? So we have to choose a crossover point. So if you see, this is a chromosome. This if you consider 2 1 1 1 is a chromosome. So there are so many crossover points. This is the first crossover point. This second crossover point. This is a third crossover point. So while generating the random number, so I got 2 is the crossover point. There I will apply the process of crossover. So what I will do? I will take second point onwards. I will take from the parent 1. This 2 1 I will take from parent 1, and 1 2 I will take from the parent 3. Right. So first children is nothing but 2 1 followed by 1 2, and the second children is nothing but 2 2. This 2 2 remaining part 2 2 followed by 1 2 2 followed by 2 2 followed by 1 1. Right. So by exchanging the properties of 2 parent 1 parent 3, I am generating 2 children. Children 1, children 3. Let us give name children 1 and children 3. Okay. And by applying the crossover point at 2. Somebody will say that which crossover point is best? Again, there is no answer for it. Okay. But somebody will say that why not apply the crossover point at 1? You can also apply in 1. If you apply in 1, you will take only 2 from the parent 1 and rest of the part from the parent 3. Like sometimes we are saying he is having his properties of his mother, not the father, right? And only few characteristics are matching with his father. Maximum characteristics of mother is matching. So there, the child 1 is having 2 2 1 2, and parent 3, children 3 is having 2 followed by 3 ones. So that is the crossover point if you take 1. Sometimes we will apply 2-point crossover. 2-point crossover means, suppose I am taking 2 random numbers. Instead of generating a single random number, I am generating 2 random numbers. Let that random number is coming 1 and 3. So what I will do? I will take first part of the parent 1, second part of the parent 2, third part of parent 3. The third part of the parent 1. Third part means first part of the part of the parent 1, and second one is nothing but 2 1 1 followed by 2. Right? In this way, you can apply various multi-point crossover to the parent. Right? So again, there are many crossover points are there. 1-point crossover, 2 and n-point crossover. Then you cannot guarantee that which crossover gives better solution for you. So there is no specific answer. So once crossover is over, so if you go to your flow chart, once crossover is over, children is generated. What we have to do? We have to apply this process of mutation. So what we will do in the mutation process? Mutation process, I will take children. Mutation process always applied to children. Many researchers are confused. They are applying the mutation process to the parent. That is wrong. Mutation process always you try to the children. So in order to apply the mutation process to the children, you generate a random number. For example, I have selected a random number. Okay, the random number is, let's say, 2. Right? You have to generate the random number 2 right? For the children 1, the random number is, let's say, 2. And another random number you have to generate, which value you will replace. Mutation means out of this 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, I want to replace some value. So I have selected the second point, right? Okay, for children 1, I have selected the second point and I have to apply the mutation process, right? So I have selected the second position of children 1 and the value is 1, and mutation value says that, as you know that we have 2 machines, so either the value is 1 or the value is 2. Okay, if you have 3 machines, then you can write 1, 2, 3. But in this example, we have 2 machines, so I am taking either 1 or 2. So this value I am generating in between 1 and 2. Let my random number is 2, so this one is now replaced with 2. So whenever you are applying this mutation process, note that if the value is 1, you are generating the random number, you will may get another random number in the same random number. Means again you will get 1 here, right? There is no problem, right? If the source space is very small, then genetic algorithm is not applicable. And if you are applying the genetic algorithm also, you will get the same case. For example, in this case, 1 and I am writing here 2. But what happens if it is 1? Then the same value will come here, right? In the second children, I have selected the third position and the value is 1. Third position, the value is 1. So I want to change that value by using another random number. So let the value is 2 is coming. It may come 1. If it is coming 1, then there is no need to change. Next, what I have to do after generating the modified children, after the process of the mutation, right? I have applied the mutation process into the children. I have selected some point because all the children may not have the properties of each parent. Okay, it may have some unique properties, right? So that's why we are applying the process of mutation, right? So once the children is, you are applying the process of mutation to the children, modified children is generated. Once modified children is generated, what you will do? You will check the fitness, right? So here I will tell you. So I am taking. Please tell me.
Actually, sir, mutation means that means some cases some properties or characteristics are changed which are neither found in father nor found in mother.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes,
Sir,
yes.
another doubt. So you have taken children 1 and children 3, but actually here in case of that is called crossover, we have only 2 children.
Yes.
We have only taken 2 crossovers. So why you are writing children 1 and children 3? I think it will be children 1 and children 2.
You write whatever may be. I have given the name as children 1. Okay, you write C1, C2. There is no issue. Okay. Don't go to these names. The name don't have any meaning.
Okay, it is a simply name. Okay. You can write 1 or 2.
Yes. See, another thing is that I am telling you, whenever you apply this approach, sometimes whenever you read papers or books, you will find something is written as crossover probability and another is mutation probability. So it is not suggested that this crossover is applied only one time. In a single iteration, multiple times also you can apply crossover. For example, if you see this example, here I have applied the crossover only one time. I can apply multiple times. I have generated 2 random number 1 and 3 and I have applied some process. Somebody will say that I will apply the crossover multiple times. For example, he will take another one, that is 2 and 4, and apply the process of crossover. Another person will say I will do crossover of 1, 4. So let's say 10 times I am doing crossover in a single iteration. That is also possible. That depends upon the crossover probability, and mutation also you can apply multiple times. So that is depends upon the mutation probability. So once modified.
Sir, I have a doubt. Sir, if we are applying multiple times crossover and mutation,
Yes.
that means the original property may be changed. That means the influence of the original property may be less and change property may be more.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Sir. See, the main motivation of applying this crossover and mutation process is that 10 to the power 512 solutions I cannot achieve, right? So what I have taken, instead of taking 10 to the power 512, I have taken 20 samples or 10 samples. So with this 10 and 20 samples, I want to achieve a value which you can achieve in 10 to the power 512. That's why I told you, this is a meta-heuristic. It will not give you the exact value 2 if the solution is 2. I want a value is 1.8 is also coming, it is okay. 1.9 is coming, it is okay. So as it is not possible to go for 10 to the 5 12 number of solutions, as it takes more number of years, okay, from 5,000 to 10,000 years, it is practically not possible. So we want to achieve the same thing with 100 samples or 200 samples or 10 samples or 20 samples in the process of after initial population. Okay, so once the modified general children is generated, I have to calculate how much value they are taking, right? So you know, if the solution is 2212, how much time it what is the how much time it will take in the first machine, how much time it will take in the second machine, you calculate. So now modified children is nothing but your 2212. 2212 indicates what? You will give to the first two tasks to second machine, third task to the first machine, fourth task to the second machine. So first machine is busy for only 20 units of time, but second machine is busy for how much time? 18, 7, 25, 15 is 40. So I have written 20 and 40 and maximum value is 40. Similarly, you calculate the fitness value of modified children, right? So it indicates that all first three tasks you have to assign to the second cloud and the last one you will assign to the first cloud. So first machine is busy for 50 units of time and rest is assigned to the second machine. Second machine is busy for 28 units of time and the maximum is 50. So now I have calculated the fitness of my children 1 and children 3, and I know the fitness of parent 1 and parent 3 that you know earlier from the initial population process. If you see in the initial population process here, you know chromosome 3 you have taken, their value is 102 and 40, right? So I have written same 102 40. So what we have to do, we have to check their fitness, whether parent 1 is better or parent 1 is better or modified children 1 is better, or we'll check that parent 3 is better or modified children 3 is better. Many authors suggested that out of these 4, whichever is best to you take it, right? So there are many approaches, right? It varies with respect to how you are going to implement it, right? So here I am checking parent 1 with modified children 1 and parent 3 with modified children 3. You can compare, okay? You can also compare parent 1 with modified children 3 and parent 3 with modified children 1. There is no issue. So while comparing, just I have seen, okay, modified children 1 is better than your parent 1, because modified children 1 case, your work is completed at 40 seconds, but parent 1 case, it is completed at 102 seconds. Similarly, parent 3 and modified children 3 case, parent 3 is better than the modified children 3. So 40 is obviously better than the 50. So I will keep which one? Modified children 1 by replacing parent 1, and I have to discard the modified children 3 and I have to keep the old solution, that is parent 3. So note that many authors also suggested that whatever value is generated, okay, using modified children, okay, modified children 1 and modified children 3, whatever value you are getting, you declare them as a feed children and insert in the new population. That is also there. Let us take an example, an informal example. For example, a father is an IS officer and mother is also an IS officer. It does not mean that his children is also an IS officer. The children may be a thief, right? So instead of discarding the children, so what we will do, let the generation, current generation, that is thief generation, let us continue so that the thief will know what are the problem he is facing. So the next generation of the thief may be IS officer. That's why many authors suggested that whatever children you are generating, you keep it without comparing with parent. Okay, no need to compare. But if you go for the traditional genetic algorithm, they are saying you compare with your parents. Okay, whatever best is there, you keep it, right? So with generation wise, the trend may be changed, or the children may think that no, I am not doing good, so I am facing these many facilities, so I have to work hard and do good jobs in my life. So that may be a solution. That may give a good solutions, right? So with this varies with respect to the research papers, right? So if the children is unfit, right, then you have to discard. So after applying this process, what I have to do? Parent 1 is good, right? Sorry, parent 3. Which one is good? Parent modified children 1 is good and parent 3 is good. So I have to replace modified children 1 by parent 1. So now my new population is updated. So my new population is updated. So I have to replace modified children in the chromosome 1. Parent 1 I have discarded and I have written modified children 1 and I am getting a better result. So like that, if you iterate multiple times, so you will see your values are reducing with respect to the iterations. Okay. For this example, 36 is the optimal value. Okay. So in this case, termination condition is satisfied because I have taken number of iteration as 1. If number of iteration is 2, again you have to start the process of crossover, mutation, check fitness. Again this process will be repeated, right? So if you see, the optimal value for this particular problem is 36. But whatever value after iteration 1 or after certain iteration or 20 iteration for a big problem, the value should be close to your 36, right? So here I am getting 40. 40 is also not a bad answer, right? So instead of checking 16 solutions, how many solutions we have checked? We have solved only 4 solutions in the new population case. In this four population, what we are achieving? In the 4 population, we are getting the value as 40. After iterating one process, you are getting the value of value is 40, but the exact value is 36. So you are close to the solution. So this is all about genetic algorithm. As an assignment, what you will do? Just I will tell you. For example, in this problem, I have put some cross mark. So again, I am replacing these words by machine 1. This is machine 1. This is machine 2. This is machine 3. Machine 4. I have taken 4 machines in this case. So what should be my chromosome? My chromosome size is again 1 cross 4. But what is the difference with the previous one? Each and every box you can fill up 1 to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, right? But previous case, as there are 2 machines are there in a chromosome, you can write only 1 or 2. Another interesting problem, another interesting thing I have added in this particular problem, that I put some cross marks. What this cross mark indicate? This cross mark indicate T1 cannot be assigned to this machine, right? T1, okay, the task 1 or program number 1, you cannot assign to the third machine due to some problem. That machine is not capable to handle this task 1. So for this third box, what should be the value? My value should be 1, 2 and 4, not 3. Because if you write 3, this chromosome is not giving you a complete solution. So I told you, while you are representing the chromosome, very, very important is that while you are generating chromosome, you have to see that whether the chromosome is giving complete solution or not. So you can apply the same approach here. Till now this problem is not solved, right? Okay. You can solve this cloud computing problem also, right? Or multiple machine problem. Okay. So here again, for example, let us see the T7 case. T7 case, there is a cross mark in the first machine. So there the value should be 2 or 3 or 4, not 1. If you write 1, this chromosome is no more valid. So this is all about our genetic algorithm. If you have any doubt about genetic algorithm, you can ask. So let me take 2-3 questions, then I will tell adversarial search.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding MaxPan.
Yes.
Since in this particular example,
Yes.
the time unit is taken, that means how much time a machine is taking to complete a task. So whenever we are considering the MaxPan, we should take the smaller value, but you have taken here the larger value.
No. That is the maximum time. For example,
Okay, sir.
that two machines are there. Okay, so they are working until unless the work is over. I will not leave, right? So I have to check the maximum one.
Okay.
But objective should be minimum.
That means it is working more times. That does working less time does not mean that it is completing.
Working less means it is completing, right? So maximum time you have to reduce.
Suppose one machine is taking 150 times unit of time, another machine is taking only 20 units of time, but you have taken the MaxPan 150, not 20.
Yes, because the maximum until unless 150 seconds, my work is not completed. I want to complete all my work. So I have to reduce as much as possible. So this 150, I will apply genetic algorithm. If 150 is reduced to 30, then I will say that MaxPan is 30. So instead of if you take 20, then higher limit will not be there, right? If you are taking 150, 20, instead of taking maximum, if I choose minimum, then maximum may be 1000, right? So you will not get a solution. That's why we are taking maximum of that, not minimum of the two numbers.
Okay, sir.
Any other question? Okay. So whether it is a NP hard complete or NP hard complete, NP hard problem or NP complete problem. Okay. This problem is referred as NP hard problem, right? Because the solution is not achieved if you go for all possible combinations. So it is treated as NP hard problem, for which if you go for all possible cases, then solution is not possible with the polynomial time case. So it is a NP hard problem. But many research paper also refer this problem also as a NP complete problem. Can you explain the regions in hill climbing? Okay. So if there is a sequence of local maxima, right? Sequence of local maxima means here you can also say that here also you have a sequence of local maxima. Here the solution, if you say flat local maximum case also, whatever height you are getting from your current state to your next state, that is not improving. That is nothing but a sequence of local maxima. Or multiple hills are there, their height is also same. So multi-agent, if you apply multi-agent approach, everybody will reach to a point where height is same. In that case, you can say that problem is called as Rees problem. So that is a where the hill climbing will not be able to find a solution. Traveling salesman problem can be solved using GA. For traveling salesman problem, already sir, approximation algorithm is there. Already approximation algorithm is there. So I'll tell you what is approximation algorithm. Suppose your optimal solution for reaching from Hyderabad to New Delhi is 5,000, right? Reaching from Hyderabad to New Delhi, the minimum cost is 5,000. So the algorithm is said to be two approximation algorithm if you can travel from Hyderabad to New Delhi with a maximum cost of 10,000. Minimum cost is 5,000, but maximum you just for a two approximation algorithm you have to incur maximum cost of 10,000, right? So that is called a two approximation algorithm. So meta heuristic is giving a close to value. Obviously, whenever you go for approximation algorithm, 1.5 approximation is better than the 2 approximation algorithm, because 1.5 approximation you have to spend 7,500 in this case, right? So you can solve traveling salesman problem. Many people also solve, but it is already some approximation algorithm is there in PSP. How is proposed GA algorithm is different from the traditional GA? No, I have not proposed any genetic algorithm. Okay, I am telling you traditional algorithm do not provide many scopes, right? Crossover, mutation, whenever you are applying, there is some restriction is there. But today, whatever people are generating, okay, so they are relaxing the criteria. Just I have taken an example. Whenever you are exchanging between two parents, whatever value you are getting as a children 1, children 2, or in the after mutation process, you are getting modified children 1, modified children 2 case, you have to assert that value, right? That is the proposed GA, you can say. In the given assignment, what is the size of chromosome? Size of chromosome, okay, this is not 4 maybe, okay, you have identified correctly. How many dots are there? Okay, here the chromosome is size is 8, not 4, because 8 dots are there, right? So I have taken 4 by taking the same illustration as previous one, but you take the chromosome size is 8. That is 8 boxes are there. In each box you can fill up 1 to 4. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, yes. Size of chromosome is the number of tasks. Yes, yes. It's correct, Dr. Tapas. Each value of the chromosome is number of machine record. Yes. Okay, so let me quickly tell you about the adversarial sorts. Okay, so let me tell you about the min-max tree without going to these theories, right? So there is a minimax algorithm where we have to take some decisions. So in the minimax algorithm, there is a mean move, there is a max move. Means one player is mean, another player is max. So here, if you see this particular diagram, max player is represented by upper triangle. Upper triangle is this one, first one or the third level. Okay, or this is level 0, level 1, level 2. Then level 0 and level 2 is having upper triangle, that is your max player. And lower triangle is your minimum player. For example, in this particular tree, what Minimax algorithm says, so for example, we have 3, 12 and 8. Now, mean should move, right? In a game like we are playing, TikTok toy game. Here TikTok toy game is there. I am putting cross mark. So next turn is yours to put a circle, right? Next turn is mine to put a cross mark, right? Similarly, there is an exchange between mean and max, okay? So now the value is 3, 12 and 8. So whenever mean player move is started, so mean what it will do? It will find the minimum of 3, 12 and 8. Minimum of 3 and 12 and 8 is 3. Similarly, minimum of 2, 4 and 6 is 2. Minimum of 14, 5 and 2 is 2, right? But after getting these values, the next movement is max. So what max will choose? Max will choose the maximum of 3, 2 and 2. So that it will get 3. So this is called as your Minimax algorithm, where we can achieve the optimal decision in games. So quickly, we have another 9 minutes, okay? Okay, see here there is a multiplayer game. The multiplayer means there are 3 players are there, not 2 players. Previous example, you have a main player, another max player. That is a 2-player game. So whenever you concentrate on the 3-player game, what you will do? First example, for example, 1 to 6. Another is 4 to 3 is there. So what is the next move? The next move is for C. So you have to check this 1, 2 and 6 is the value of A, B and C. This 4, 2, 3 is the value of A, B and C. As the move is C, C checks what is the value in the C position? 6. What is the value in the third position? 3. Which one is greater? 6 is greater. So it is taking 1 to 6. Right? Try to understand. First value is A, second value is B, third value is C. So as the move is C, you will concentrate in each and every tuple, you will consider only the C values. Whose C value is good, you will take in the next level. Like 6, 1, 2, 7, 4, 1. So 2 is maximum, so I am taking 6, 1, 2. 5, 1, 1, the last value is 1. Here the last value is 2. So 2 is maximum, so I am taking 1, 5, 2. 7, 7, 1, 5, 4, 5. 5 is greater, so I am taking 5, 4, 5. In the next move, I will choose the value of B. Value of B is here 2. Value of B is here 1. So 1 to 6 is better, so I am taking 1 to 6. So here 5 is the mid value, 4 is the mid value, that is the B value. Then I am comparing 5 with 4. Obviously 5 is better. So 1, 5, 2 I am taking here. Then the move is for A. So A is having 1, another 1. So there is a tie. So I am taking the left one, or you can take the right one. So this is a multiplayer game. So I will ask a very simple question. Please read these first 2 lines. For example, there are 3 players. One is A, another is B, another is C. A, B are the weak player and C is the strong player, right? A is a weak player. Sorry, A is a weak player. B is a weak player, but C is a strong player. How they will defeat? How they will play the game? That is an interesting scenario here. A, B are the weak player. They know that if A is individually playing with C, A will lose. B is individually playing with C, B will lose. So what you will do? A and B makes an agreement. A and B makes an agreement and they will try to defeat C. Okay. For example, if you see here, the answer is A, B will combinedly play and they will defeat C. Once C is destroyed or C lost the game, what they will do? Their partnership they will break. A, B break their partnership as they are both are in the weak position. They will break the partnership and they will play among each other in order to decide who is the winner of that particular match. Okay. Now, okay, another 6 minutes is there. Let me focus on the alpha beta pruning. So pruning is a process like I told you, instead of taking 10 to the power 512, why it is not practically possible. So what we are doing? We are taking a 10 samples or 20 samples or 100 samples or 200 samples, right? So if somebody will tell you in the chromosome, but whenever you are concentrate on the chromosome, somebody will tell the first value should be assigned to the first machine. So what happens if I have 4 machines? So 2 and 3 and 4 is not applicable for the first position. So you prune it. Prune it means you are cutting the tree. In each and every box, you can put 1, 2, 3, 4. but somebody based upon his experience suggested that 1 is the solution. Okay, so you will not try 2, 3, 4. So your source space is now reducing in comparison with the previous one. Let us take the same example, whatever you have seen the minimax tree. First, I am taking 3. So 3 means without, so for example, now I don't know what is the value written here. So once I know this value 3, I will update the value 3 here, because 3, this is a lower triangle. Lower triangle indicates lower value it should take, right? Now I have to see the second value. Second value is 12. So my mean value is not changed. Third value is 8. So 3, my minimum value is not changed. And I updated the maximum value is now greater than equal to 3, because I do not know other branches of the tree. By only the left branches, I am looking into the left branches. As the minimum value is 3, I am assuming that the maximum value should be at least 3, that is greater than equal to 3. Now come to the second scenario. Second scenario, if the first value is 2, what is the minimum value? If the first value is 2, the minimum value should be 2, minimum 2. Okay, if the value is 0, then we will see later, right? If the first value is 2, the minimum value is at least 2, right? Now we have 2 scenarios. What is the scenario? These 2 cross marked 1 may be greater than, equal to 2, or less than 2. These are the 2 cases possible for these 2 cross marked. Let us take greater than equal to 2. For example, I am taking 5. Less than 2, I am taking -1. Right? If you consider the first case, this is my first case, this is my second case. First case, 1 is greater than, yes, first case it is greater than 2, right? I have taken 5. So if it is 5, then what will happen? Minimum is 2, right? If it is 5, the minimum is 2 only, right? Here the minimum is 2. If the value is -1 also, -1 is the minimum, but if you go to the next level, we have to choose the maximum one. So -1 will never come to the top level. Try to understand, I am again repeating. If 5, which is greater than equal to 2, it will never come to this particular level. 5 will not come to its parent level. If it is -1, it will come to the parent level, but it will not go to its grandparent level. So without knowing these 2 values, I can conclude that this value is less than equal to 2, as both higher value and lower value is no more required to decide what is the minimum value in the parent level or maximum value in the grandparent level. So these 2 values are not required. So this is the process of alpha beta ruling. Similarly, so this is the algorithm. Okay. So now you can ask questions. Rest 3 minutes are there. So let me see the chart window. A and B team up. Yes, your answer is correct. When A and B are weak and C is the strongest player, so A, B will do a tie-up. Okay, they will defeat C because C is a strong player. When C is defeated, they will break their tie, right, and they will play individually. Any other question you can ask?